Good morning and sliding into afternoon. Nana here, also known as Judy Allen, San Antonio, Texas. And today I'm going to show you how we're going to make our own pattern to design a card, right? Because we can make patterns any way we want to, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to do for today's card. It is an alternative, right, to the paper pumpkin kit for June. July's will be a few weeks down the road before we get there, all right? So let's go down the hands and let's do this, and I'll show you what we've already created as alternatives and what we're going to do. So this is the alternative we created last week. Here's the one that Miss Zoe did the week before, and then here is what we did in the kit to begin with. So you're just going to sort of see, last week was a fun flap, right? And we'll put the measurements out there for you so that you know what to do to go out there and recreate it if you want to recreate it, or design your own, right? Because it's all about creating, sharing, and giving. So that's our main focus, creating, sharing, and giving. So today, we're going to use the envelope, and we're going to create our own pattern, and I'm going to show you how I did that. It just makes it a lot easier if you have a pattern, because this is not a typical cutting a square or anything like that. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to take the envelope, because we're going to be using the envelope. So if you've been around following for a while, you know I like using the envelopes to make a card because they always have pretty envelopes. And it's just easy to do, right? We just have to slice off the sides here. And then I just come down the seam, right here. We've already got the scored line where they have the envelope folded, so we'll cut there. All right, and then I cut off the flap right here. Again, we have a scored line. If you can't see it, it's right there. I always like sometimes just to bend the scored line so I can see a little bit better depending on the lighting. All right, so this is what I started off as for the base for the card, and you can see it's just a little bit smaller, and that's because I wanted this to be the whole front of the card, so it needs to be a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So that's, you just got to trim it down just a little bit, and that's all I did. Now when I trimmed it down, I did make sure, I'm just seeing if I can see, I did make sure that when I did it, that for example if I go 5 1/2, see how much this is going to cut off right here. So I did make sure that it was going to look just the same. And if you look at the pattern here, so at that rate, then I just, because we had to take off in order for this to be 5 1/2. We don't have to do quite 1/4 inch, so I just took it like 1/8 off of each end to get to this where I got to right here. All right, but that's not the main focus. The main focus is getting our pattern, because I needed a pattern to cut the cardstock and the extra stuff that I did. Now I knew this part of this was going to be missing, but that doesn't bother me. So what I did is I wanted to at least have these 2 layers right here as my pattern for my paper that I was going to cut. So all I did is came down here, and if you look, this really lines up. If I can show you. See how that lines? If I can get that better close for you. It's a little orange line, and just line it up right down the middle there, because that's what we're going to cut. And it's easy to line the line up right there in the center. And I just did this on all sides. And then once I finish this, so it's like, think of like if you've cut out patterns for clothing, right? That's what's right about this is on my mind. And that is that, right? You have different sizes you can do. So think of it that way. So I wanted to do 2 different sizes. I wanted to take advantage of what the instructions gave us of colors that would coordinate really good with this paper. So if you're not sure where to find that, it's right here on the back here. It gives you coordinating stamping up colors with the kit. And so actually we're going to pull some of those colors. I'm going to show you there. So I wanted to do some layers. With gold especially, I wanted to pick up the gold. Gold was the color they had on there. And I wanted to pick up that color, and I want to pick up another. So yeah, so it doesn't have it on this side, that's okay, right? Because I can use the pattern and flip it over. Anyway you go, it's going to be, I don't know what kind of shape you would call this. Almost like a diamond shape. Alright, so I use this to cut my papers. So the first paper that I cut, let me make sure I use the right one here. I don't want an opportunity for creativity. I've already had that through sewing. Alright, so I just used this. Now this one, you can see that's a little bit smaller, and that's because once I did to this second line here, it was just too much. So I actually literally just trimmed this down. So if you're gonna have to trim it down, I just did like an eighth or a 16th at a time, just so I get it. So if you have to size it down, just move it over to your lines, and then just take off the portion off two sides until you get where you want. And that's what I did. So I actually had choices of colors. So I knew I wanted to use the gold because I wanted to pick up the gold in the card. So originally I thought I might could use this, but it was too much gold, right? Even if I had reversed this, it was still too much. So I decided to go ahead and use the envelope because I like the envelope and the colors, just to give you an idea. Now they gave us 3 different suggested colors, and I brought up several of them. One was Blackberry Bliss. I just want to show you so you can see what it looks like. So if I was going to do, so this is just how I just create, right? People always want to know, how do I create? Well, I just take out scraps of what I have and see what it's going to look like, right? Knowing this is going to be my end result, or I'm going to flip-flop the colors, right? So it's just a matter of taking stuff out and seeing what you're going to like. Now see, I wanted something darker right next to the gold, so that really didn't float my boat on that one. I was just trying to see here. And then what I did here, just a second, I'll see who's there so I can say hello. Hello, Linda. And so here's the other. Here's pecan pie. Originally, I thought pecan pie was going to work because I was really wanting to pick up this brown, and it's too light. Okay? I have scraps, right? I have scraps. You can see that I've got scraps. I'm showing you my scrap pile. So this is Lost Lagoon. Again, it wasn't it. I wanted something darker. All right? I came to Cajun Craze, and Cajun Craze is the one I'm going to go with because I was really trying to pick up this brown, and we really don't have a brown that color. I'd have to create my own paper, and I wasn't going to create my own paper. But I just want to show you some different choices. Here was Early Espresso. Started pulling browns. I thought that was a little bit too dark. Blackberry Bliss is so pretty. And I tell you, the other one that's really pretty too is, I didn't even think of this one at first, even though it was on the list, was this is Pretty Peacock, which is the ink in the actual kit itself. I was definitely focusing on the brown, but this would have been real pretty too, right? Okay, so my ultimate choice was Cajun Craze, which is, let me see if Cajun Craze is on the list. I was thinking it was, it is on the list. So I was trying to get something from the list. Sometimes I go beyond, but that's okay. So we're going to actually layer this. I think it'll look really good. So if you're never sure about layering, just you can actually go ahead and put them on here. I mean, these come off pretty easy, even if they didn't, right? It's going to be hidden. So I would tell you, just go ahead and get a visual of what you might want. In this particular case, I wanted to just lift this up, right? I like all the colors, and I would just want it, I wanted to just make it all blend. So I just made sure my end, right, I've got pointy ends here. This looks like a diamond. And I just made sure that we're going to line it up with another point, right? We're just going to make sure we line up everything so it looks like it belongs, right? All right, and then we're going to put this one here. Now, right, we have the choice. We can either put this up on dimensionals or not. I'll go ahead and do it and see if we like it. If we don't like it, then it's easy to take off. Okay? So for me, that may be too much, okay? Because we're going to have this right here, and we could easily put this up on dimensionals. I think it'd be better if we could put it next to it. It does, right? So it's sort of in between the orange color here and the brown. It's like it's picking up both. So I'm not going to put this on. I'm going to put this right next to gold because I want that gold to really pop, and that's what this is going to do for us. So I'm just going to put some adhesive back here, and we'll get this on. Making sure I had something with enough adhesive. Right, I'm getting ready for the retreat tomorrow, so I'm trying to gather all my stuff together to be ready. Making sure I got spares, right? I always have spares. So just center this is all we're going to do. And it actually would have been easier to do if I'd done it before the dimensionals, but it's okay. If I have to take the dimensionals off and redo it, I will. It's Friday, right? We got the weekend ahead of us, and we just want to have fun. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get this on here, and then we're just going to put our flowers. Now, flowers look great with Wink of Stella. You know, you're right, but as I'm thinking, you know, Blackberry Bliss is such a nice, rich color. It's exactly why it's one of the Regals, right? Those Regals. All right, so I just lined it up right here. And then I'm just going to put this right here. Now again, if you want to pop it up on dimensionals, right? Let's see how we like this. I could go either or with popping this up on dimensionals. Let's go for the moment, we'll do it with it, okay? Alright, if we don't like it, I can always take it off and redo it. But what I am making sure, though, if you look, I'm just making sure that everything's going to overhang a little bit with the floral stuff, right? And you can see which way you want it to go. I'm going to go ahead and leave it like this. Now, I do have the tag, and the tag is actually with Pretty Peacock on it. If we don't want that, we can flip it over. The other thing is I'm going to stamp this with thank you. Just a simple thank you. And we can trim off the excess. So, though that's what I originally planned on doing. I just planned on putting thank you on here and trimming off the excess. Because I wasn't really trying to focus on it. I don't mind picking it up, but it wasn't really my focus color, right? So we'll just take our scissors. It's all in the kit, right? So I just took it off from the kit. Thank you. And I'm just going to put this right here, right? I can just put this here with a little adhesive. And for me, it might be glue. Might be my preference. So I just want it to come right here, right? And I can put bling on it. It'll go on that leaf just fine. So I'm just going to put it in the center. Then we actually have to put this on the front of a cardstock. Because this, keep in mind, this is just the envelope, right? Just the envelope. Thank you, Lourdes. I'm so glad to see you. I wasn't sure if you were back home yet or not. I got one of your favorite peeps here today. We're going to go have some lunch later. We're going to have a late lunch. I'm going to take them to this new restaurant that Linda introduced me to. Oh, yeah. And Linda, I'll let you know their bread of the month this month is jalapeno with cheddar cheese. And Gabe really likes it. It is good. And nobody complained about the German chocolate brownie. General Lourdes is saying hello to you. All right. So let's get this on our card base. I was just going to do basic white, right? I'm just going to put it on here because that way if I want to stamp on the inside, I can. We're just going to cover this. See how this is just going to cover the whole thing here? So all I'm going to do is just flip it up, making sure I don't have anything that's going to pop off. We're just going to put some glue on the back here, and we're just going to put it down. They didn't give us ribbon, but we got bling, right? They did bling. Goodness knows I have enough ribbon. If I want to add ribbon, I can add ribbon. I don't think I have Cajun Craze ribbon, but we could create our own, right? We want to create our own ribbon, just get some white and take a blending pen and color the ribbon the color you want it. Alright, so we're just going to put this on here. Like here. So if it's a little bit short or whatever, then just center it, right? Don't sweat the small stuff, that's sweat the small stuff. If it really bothers you, then just get your trimmer out and square it off any way you want to, right? So like I got this little bit right here, I can take my trimmer and just take that off. So yes. So there you go. Now let's add some bling, and we're going to add some Wink Stella, and we've got a card. This one's pretty full. I used that the other day and it squirted everywhere. Alright, let's get some bling on here. I need that bling on my thank you. Right? You can give somebody a thank you note. I want them to make sure to get some bling with it. Alright, come on. Work with me here, right? Work with me. There we go. Thank you. And I'm going to put a couple more. Oh, I've got some smaller ones. I'll put some more down here. You know that? A little Wink Stella will get you everywhere. Alright, let's get that Wink Stella in the flowers here. Yeah, there we go. I never worry about whether I'm in the lines or not. I just want to make sure I get some of the sparkle on the petals, right? We don't have to worry about it. So I did fussy cut this out, right? Because this is actually, so I didn't even tell you that to begin with. This was actually part of, I want to say the front of a card base. Let's see here. I can tell you. Yeah, so see here, this is actually running the front of the cards. So actually I had it left over from a couple of weeks ago when we did an alternative, and so I just fussy cut it out, is what I've done. And I'm just like adding a little sparkle. And that's it, right? We have all the sparkle we want. Everything is like sparkled up. Let's see if you can see that. See that, how that shimmers? So there you go. That's how easy it is to make an alternative and use the envelope as well too. So I hope you enjoyed that. So this is the one we finished today. Let me just show you what we got again. And here's the alternative we made last week. And here is the one that Miss Zoe did the week before. So just make your own pattern, right? Use the envelope to make your own pattern. I could have easily done this even further out, but I wanted at least to show this background right here, right? So make your own pattern, do your own thing, and show us what you've made, all right? So with that, I want to just thank you for supporting us not only here on Facebook, but also on Instagram and YouTube. And with that, have an amazing weekend and a blessed week, and look forward to seeing you next week with Teaching Nana. Bye.